So we can extend the concept of the chain rule for multivariable functions if we think about having more than we can either have more intermediary variables or we can add in some more independent variables. So let's do that now. Let's suppose that we have more than one independent variable. In the previous video, we saw that we only had one independent variable, which was t. So here, let's look at this specific example, and then we'll create a tree diagram to represent the chain rule for the partial derivatives that we're being asked to find. So in this example, we want to find the partial derivative of z with respect to u and the partial derivative of z with respect to v. Here we have that z depends on x and y, but x and y both depend on u and v. So let's just list what we've got here for independent variables and dependent variables. So z, of course, is our dependent variable. Now, notice the difference of what we're being asked to find from the previous problem. In the previous work, we were trying to find the ordinary derivative of z with respect to t because t was our only single independent variable. But now we want two partial derivatives, one with respect to u, one with respect to v, and that's because we have two independent variables this time. And so because we have, as z depends on both u and v, two independent variables, we can only find partial derivatives for in the direction of u and in the direction of v. And of course here also x and y are our intermediate variables. So once again, the reason that we're being asked to find these partial derivatives is because now we have two independent variables. So let's create a chain rule tree diagram for the situation that we have, and then we'll apply it to our example. All right, so we're starting with our dependent variable is z. I'm going to also write down our intermediate variables and our independent variables this time. So we're starting with our dependent variable z. First, z depends both on x and z depends on y. Now, a change in x comes from a change in u and a change in v, because x depends on both u and v. A change in y comes from a change in u and a change in v. So now let's go through and write down which of these are ordinary derivatives and which of these are partial derivatives. Just going to move this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do that in a different color. Let's say pink. All right, so because z depends on x and y, that's more than two variables. The change that results in z comes from a change in x and a change in y. So a change in the direction of x, change in the direction of y, also a change in x and a change in y driven by u and v. And so this must be a partial derivative of z with respect to x. And this must be a partial of z with respect to y because we have two branches going into z, contributing to a change in z. Now, if we look at the intermediate variables, you can see again here, if we look at x, that changes in x also come from two independent variables, from u and v this time. And so when we think about what derivative will go in each of these two branches, they have to be partials because a change in x is coming from changes in u and changes in v. So this is going to be partial of x with respect to u, and this will be partial of x with respect to v. And same thing happens with y. This will also be a partial derivative of y with respect to u and a partial derivative of y with respect to v. Now, we're going to focus on finding, let's say, dz du and thinking about what that might look like. So we're going to do dz du first. And to do that, we have to consider where are the changes coming from that contribute to a change in z from an original change in u. So if we look at u over here, if u changes, that drives a change in the x variable, which in turn changes z. We also have a change from u here that changes y, which in turn changes z. So I'm going to follow the following branches. To get dz du, I'm going to go first, figure out what is the change coming from z in the direction, for z in the direction of x. So u changes x, x changes z. I'm going to write that down. That's going to be, they're all partials. Partial derivative of z with respect to x, and we multiply that by the partial derivative of x with respect to u. And to that, we're going to add the change that's coming from y and from u. So we're going to look at this branch and this branch to see what is the change that's happening to z with respect to u using y as our intermediate variable. So this is going to be dz dy, and then the change in y coming from u is dy du. And so there's our chain rule for the change in z from u. All right, we had an original problem. So our original problem was z, I'll write this in a different color, was that it's up here, but z, I'll write it again so I can scroll up. This z is sine 2x, cosine 3y. And x is u plus v, y is u minus v. And we want to find first our partial derivative of z with respect to u. So what do we need? We're going to need partial of z with respect to x. That's going to, of course, get multiplied by partial of x with respect to u. We will need partial of z with respect to y, which will get multiplied by partial of y with respect to u. So let's look. dz dx means we're holding y constant. So this is just going to be 2 cosine 2x, I'm taking the derivative of sine of 2x, times cosine of 3y, because this quantity here is held constant since y is constant, so I'm treating that as a constant. dx du, dx du is just going to be, we're looking over here, the derivative of x with respect to u when v is held constant, that's just going to be 1. Now, let's look at dz, del z, del y. Now we're holding x constant, and so we're going to have a negative sine 2x times sine 3y times 3. So we took the derivative of cosine 3y, applied the chain rule to that, and sine 2x behaves like a constant. And then the partial derivative of y with respect to u is also 1. Now, going back to our chain rule in yellow, right here, we're going to have that dz du will be dz dx, which is 2 cosine 2x cosine 3y, times 1, because dx du is 1, plus negative 3 sine 2x sine 3y times 1, because dy du is 1. So I'm just going to erase that 1, and most likely, because our independent variable is u here, it would be nice to write our final answer in terms of u and v. So we've got 2 cosine of 2u plus 2v. I'm just substituting our expression for x. And I'm going to do the same thing and substitute our expression for y. So that's 3u minus 3v. And then this is minus 3 sine of 2u plus 2v sine of 3u minus 3v. And that would be partial derivative of z with respect to u. Since this video is already pretty long, I'm going to let you try. So find the partial derivative of z with respect to v this time, and we already have the tree diagram created, so you can just follow the branches that lead us to z from the independent variable v.